This is the Distracted and Disorderly podcast. I'm Chris, and this is Kayla.
This is Kayla.
We're just fucking idiots.
This
Let's
is
go.
Kayla.
Get your fucking wine ready, because we're back. Another episode. Distracted and Disorderly podcast. Bad movie series. What is this? The fourth bad movie series thing?
I don't know.
Fourth or fifth? I don't even remember anymore. I like doing this though. But we're back. You know, we're doing it and doing it and doing it well.
I need a Santa
what's the
hat.
movie this week? What is the
Smashed.
movie right now? What did we watch the other day? That
Was it just called Elves? Was it just called Elves? The
19
Elves?
Like 1989's Elves, directed by Jeffrey Mandel. Okay, this was a fucking gem. I'm gonna do the synopsis real quick. You ready?
Was it a gem?
A young woman discovers that she is the focus of an evil Nazi experiment involving selective breeding and summoned elves. And by selective breeding, they mean incest. An attempt to create
Aryan
a race
race.
of supermen. She and two of her friends are trapped in a department store with an elf, and only Dan Haggerty, as a renegade loose cannon Santa Claus, can save them. And this guy is a former police officer or detective
Badass
or whatever who
bitch
drank
what he
himself. Yeah, badass motherfucker. He drank himself right off the fucking force, and now he's like a bum, and he's trying to get back in the department store, and like, you know, we'll get to that part in a few minutes, but that's where we're at. Bad movie. Bad movie. Bad movie. Bad movie. If you're listening right now, Kayla's wearing a black turtleneck and a red chunky sweater. She looks like she's ready to hit the slopes, you know?
The slopes. Look, it's foofy.
That thing looks cozy.
It's cozy.
Not gonna lie, it looks cozy.
Oh,
But she's running away now. She must be getting like something else. Who knows? But I like doing this bad movie series. Not gonna lie, this movie was, fucking. There was so many ridiculous parts, and they just keep popping in my head, and I don't want to ruin it yet. But let me just tell you this: like, there's incest, there's dead cats, there's little brothers. Like, this is ridiculous. Oh, sweater on a sweater. Are you trying to fucking go to
this is
hell?
a
Like,
blanket.
isn't that a sin? You can't sweater
It's
over
a-
a sweater.
it's a blanket.
Okay, we have sweater blankets here too. They're great. They're great. I like being warm on some of my skin and then like cold on other parts of my skin. But because the sweater got holes, it's just like an Afghan. It's like I'm warm on parts. So
Really?
let's see. How do you want to start this? How do you want to start?
I had no idea what direction the movie was going in until an hour into the movie. I had no idea what that was about. No idea. Wouldn't have known at all, because it goes in, it's like, oh, everything's peachy keen. She's a high school girl, and she's just doing her thing.
High school. 37-year-old
It was a 30-year-old woman playing. Yeah.
No offense to the woman, but in the 80s, it was another fucking level of like hiring 40-year-olds to be 17. But anyways.
I don't know. I don't really want to go through
Sorry
the whole
about my
movie,
nose,
because
folks.
I would recommend people watch this. I don't want to spoil it like to the max, like we go into most detail. I think that we should go over our least favorite part in the movie, because I think we're on the same page.
Guys, I'm smoking for this episode. I smoke for every episode. Who am I kidding? Anyways, our least favorite part, my least favorite part. I have a favorite part and a least favorite part. My least favorite part was the girl's mom putting her pregnant cat in a pillowcase and stuffing it in the toilet until it died.
You sick bitch, by the way. You fucking sick bitch. You learn immediately that the mom is abusive. I don't even remember where the girl worked. She came back home from work, and I don't know what she did wrong. She like went to a store or something she wasn't supposed to fucking go to, and then the mom was like, oh, well, you deserve a harsher punishment. She's like, well, Grandpa already smacked me in the face twice. Like, fucking full on Will Smith
Grandpa
bitch smacked this girl.
Bitch slapped her. Holy shit.
Granddad.
she went into his little into his book collection where he said,
That's what it was.
Don't touch the books. And then she went into the woods with her friends and he was like, I told you not to go into those woods. And then he smacked the shit out of her from a wheelchair. Just gave her a left. And she was like, oh my God. And when she looked back, gave her a fucking right.
Yo, I was so confused this whole episode because first of all, she comes home and her grandfather smacks the fucking shit out of her. She's like, yep, that sucked. I'm having a bad day. Just as a teenager, by the way, that alone would make me want to never talk to them again, give them the silent treatment as like a 13-year-old. How are the fuck old? 15, 16? No, you get them quietly. So I was like, all right. So she's gonna be a bitch, like a passive bitch for a while. Then the mom walks in. She goes, "We're taking everything in your savings account."
Yeah, you don't have a savings account anymore. We're closing it down. And I'm like, what?
She goes, I don't want you to have a future.
Yeah, you've been guaranteed her to live in your house.
This is your punishment. You don't deserve this. Mind you, she had her own job. She was working out. She was like, what, 16, 17 or something? Because they had a fucking whatever. I don't know. This was so stupid. Okay. And then from there, she was like, I got to get back at her. I fucking hate her cat. And mind you, right before you see the mom drowning the cat in a bag in the toilet. You drowned a cat in the toilet, by the way. You low-level bitch. You fucking talked about the girl. It was like a sad scene of the girl laying in her bed after she got smacked the shit out of and her whole savings account is drained. She's sitting in bed with a cat and she's like, this is my only friend. And I'm like,
my only friend. Please don't ever leave me. Craziness. Anyways, the skinny of it is they went into the woods with this book and they were fucking around doing some fucking Christian Christmas shit. And of course she cut herself and their blood dripped. It went in the
candle
and
the candle shattered or whatever.
Elf. Okay, one elf, by the way. The movie's called Elves, but there's one, just for the record. Anyways.
One elf the whole movie.
Why? You can't call it Elf, though. Well, you could have in 1989. You fucked up. But basically, this elf comes back, and, he's starting to fuck around. He's starting to take some people out here and there, and then we cut to the girl at her job. She's at her job. There's a Santa Claus groping girls, just
sticking his hand up the girl's pants, and then they were like, I'm going to get the girl fired.
Yeah. So the girl got the guy who runs the mall is a dick.
The movie did not age well, by the way. So if anybody is not cool with it did not age well.
F word. I think they say the F word a bunch of times, right? For the derogatory term for homosexuals. I'm pretty sure the R word, the derogatory term for, what's the proper term for that? Mentally
challenged.
Mentally challenged. That's probably not even the proper term anymore in 2023. But anyways, we're gonna keep this short because we don't want to talk about the entire movie. You should just go watch it. Just spend a day and watch it. It's so dark you can't see what's happening. There's
the
scenes
funniest shit
it's so
in the
dark.
whole movie, though.
Okay, so she's taking a shower right early in the movie, and I'm like, finally. We're going to see boobies. Let's go. It's an 80s movie.
Idiot,
it's a horror movie. We saw boobies, by the way. I was right. I knew we were going to see something. We saw a butt. We saw boobs. But
she's being electrocuted by a toaster, bro.
She's in the shower, and her little brother sneaks in, and she's like, what are you doing in here? Get out of here. He goes, what did he say? You got fucking big tits, and I'm telling everybody.
You got fat tits or something?
No, he said you got fucking big tits.
Fucking big tits. Yeah, you're right.
You got fucking big tits, and I'm going to tell everybody. And she's like, you little fucker. And she tackles him and wrestles him on the bed, which probably didn't help because he was probably rocking a rock and fucking.
That's just where the incest starts. That's
Remember, he was like, I just like looking.
She's like, you're my brother. That's disgusting. He goes, I don't care. You got fucking big tits, and I'm telling everybody. And I'm like,
ooh.
How are you going to go to your friends in grade school and brag about your sister's titties? Usually when other guys talk about your sister's boobs or something in the locker room or whatever, you're like, ugh, man, I don't want to hear that. That's my sister, bro. Stop. Yeah, don't tell me.
Can you not?
He's like, I'm going to tell everybody.
Sister, so thank God I don't have a sister that I have to hear about
to my
I
brother
have
on
friends
one of
with
these
sisters.
episodes.
They were abused constantly. God forbid you got a hot sister and a hot mom. You're fucked. You might as well just have no friends. But
You might as well just have no friends.
jump ahead. Mall Santa gets fired, then gets killed. Okay, it's a crime scene,
After
and this is like
snorting cocaine.
it's one of
There
the
are also
dumbest crime
drugs.
scenes. Yeah, he was
Drugs
like doing
involved in the
drugs, and
movie.
then he got stabbed in the dick. And like, it's funny because a detective calls the girl in, and she's like, "Why would I have to be here? What did I do?" And he's like, "Well, obviously he just groped you. You smacked the shit out of him, and then he got fired.
You're a first
And then
suspect.
why wouldn't you be a suspect? He's like, "Hey, we've had a murder."
Even though after that, after
you're
she
the
was
first
like, "Nah,"
suspect."
after she was just like, "No, it wasn't me." They were like, "Okay."
He was like, "Okay, don't leave town." He said some shit. But
No, he
anyway,
said that to just the ex cop.
jumping ahead a little bit, we find out that Grandpa is a fucking Nazi. Okay, we find out he's a former Nazi who was part of a
I
program.
called it before there were hints, though. Give myself props for that.
Yeah, but you called it because of that bunk ass accent. As soon as he was like, "Listen, don't go looking at the books I have," you were like, "He's a Nazi," and I'm like, "God damn." God
Yeah,
forbid
the
you meet a
time
German
period,
person.
the way he disrespected women and other people, the way that he was with his daughter, I was like, "Nah, you're Nazi, bro. I don't care."
Yeah,
Nazi.
he was getting visited by other Nazis that were part of the cause.
Who are cops?
Basically,
Who are cops? Hidden Nazis in the system.
hit it. But you're getting crazier by the second over there.
My finger is itchy, and I have calluses all over my hands.
Guys, she's a power lifter now. You
I'm
should
not.
see.
I used to be, not anymore.
She'd be putting on them Vans and throwing the weights up. But we find out, and this is around the time her cat gets drowned, by the way. It's just fucking pandemonium. Like, it was a long scene. That wasn't even a short scene.
The movie was so drawn out, by the way. It could have been a 45-minute movie.
It could have been a 30-minute. Like, it was silly.
The first hour was so unnecessary. And by the way, before we get into like more details, so dark. And the only platform I could find it on was YouTube. By the way, if you want to watch it, it's on YouTube.
For free. You can watch it. Yeah. So basically, Grandpa, we find out that Grandpa's her dad and her grandpa, which obviously leads to one conclusion. I'll let you folks figure that out for yourself. So that's a whole thing. And you're like, what the fuck?
He goes, that's a whole thing.
Thing.
And then the scene where she's smushing lipstick into her face and she's like, "You're a perfect human. It's exactly what he wanted." And I'm like,
that was her mom. That was her mom.
I know.
Before she got killed.
That's where you saw titties. You want to explain that scene?
I'm sorry for my nose, people. I'm getting over some shit. Yeah, so mom was going to take a bath. We get to see her little butt. She looks good for her age. I forget the actress's name, but she looks good. But she gets in the tub and she's just doing her thing. And then the elf pops up and he's like, "Ha!" And he throws a fucking radio in there and electrocutes her.
She was listening to music by the tub. And then it was just magically.
Which is otherwise totally normal thing to do in the 80s. You just don't want it to fall in there.
Just like Final Destination. You just have a Slurpee outside of the fucking the tanning beds, and then magically it spills all over everything, and then you cook to death in there.
Those goddamn movies. They were there's little highlights. There's little highlights here and there. But
is that a highlight or is that really vulgar?
Well, anyways, we cut to the former cop who's a bum, who's been trying to get a job at the mall because
badass bitch.
Mall owner. The mall owner's a bitch ass though, and he's being a bitch to him. But then when Santa dies after getting fired, he offers this guy the mall Santa job. And that's when this guy starts to notice, because these girls are like sneaking into the mall at night because they have a key and hanging out. And
they're trying to throw a Christmas party.
Yeah, that there's an elf running around. And he gets all curious, but he's so weird about it. He constantly looks like, "Hey, you guys all right?" He's like always got these weird, like, sorrowful eyebrows. I don't even know how he does it. He's like, guys, He's like,
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Girls all right
And
down here.
no, he wasn't creepy with the girls. Don't make him sound that way. He was the most normal
not.
human being. He was like everyone's dad. He was like everyone's dad. Everybody, even the mall owner. My least favorite part, we just skipped over this, by the way. This is a little vulgar, gross, but it was still a part that like stood out for me, was when the daughter just found out that grandpa is also dad. Okay. And they're sitting in the room together. And she was asking about his books. And then he was like, well, I did it. But she was like, she was drugged. So it wasn't traumatic at all. Like, your mom was drugged when it happened. And like, I didn't get any pleasure out of it. She was just, she was out, you know?
For the cause. It was purely for the cause.
Yeah, because he said something about how the Nazis needed me to do it for them because it needed to be a pure human being from my bloodline. Because originally the elves were created in like in a science thing, of course. What other movie wouldn't do that? And then they were supposedly.
I thought they were like.
No, they were created to be the perfect soldiers because you don't remember that part? They were created to be the perfect soldiers because they're just, the only thing is they couldn't tame them. So they would have been the like god of war, but they would have killed their own people. So that they were like a fuck up. So one of the elves specifically was either attached to or wanted Kirsten was the girl's name. I don't know what Kirsten's mom name was. We just called her bitch the whole time because who fucking drowns a cat in a toilet? Whatever. Bitch. This bitch. But like, that part was so gross to me. He's like, she was drugged and it wasn't traumatic at all. And then in the next scene, you see her smushing lipstick on her face. And I'm like, she's not traumatized at all. Nope.
Yeah.
Just has to live with you and her daughter. Oh.
The story was so fucking convoluted and just silly.
It was also all over the place.
Yeah, they didn't flesh out any characters at all. I can safely say that the new Santa ex-cop guy who was the hero, we barely knew shit about him. He just came off as a fucking down on his luck, drunk, something or other. It was so vague. And then the Nazi guys working with the grandpa was super vague who the fuck they were. Then the mom thing, they were trying to get in depth with the incest thing with the mom being damaged, but like having
they really went in depth with the incest thing. That was like a point.
Well, the whole thing was like the daughter was supposed to, like the elf was supposed to fuck with her and impregnate her, you know, and like that whole shit was supposed to happen. But
later on we find out she's not supposed to go in the room because there's like a rock that she would know what to do with. And then she ended up killing the elf at the end because there wasn't elves.
Funny.
It was an elf. It was so weird. There was like, in her visions, there was a lady, a drawing of a lady who had like just nipples out, and then there was Nazi fucking symbols over them, and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Well, it wasn't even like that. It was like a code. Like there was little lines around her boobs, and then
no, it was a
swastika. Them into swastikas. It wasn't a swastika. Remember they drew it on it after. Remember they were like, and he was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that was her vision. That's what I mean. Is there was like just why? So first of all, the movie was not only hard to follow because it was all black. The last scene was crystal clear in the woods. Crystal clear. Remember that? It's just magically crystal clear at the end. And then every other scene in the movie was just pitch black. I don't know if that's a metaphor for rebirth. For rebirth at the end, but that was a shit way to visualize it if that's what it was going for. I don't know if it's like, oh, this is a new chapter.
She was pregnant at the end, remember?
Yeah, well, that ultrasound is fuck. The elf like ripped off some guy's dick.
The elf did something because he didn't fuck her. He just like threw it in her. I don't know what he did.
There was also flashes of his hands all over her, grossly. So maybe he slipped something where, you know.
I don't know what he did.
It was so dark. I couldn't see anything. It's so bad, guys. It is so bad.
You know what? I said watch it, but don't even watch it.
No, watch it. I think you should watch it.
The only time you should watch is when he's like, "You got big fucking tits," and I'm telling everybody.
First of all, he said the F word in front of his mom 3 times. Also, where did the little boy come from? Was that also Grandpa Dad's son?
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't talk about that at all.
Was there
Fucking
another
weird.
dad? There was no quote unquote dad around. Just an old man in a wheelchair who beats the shit out of people, I guess, because he's still a Nazi at heart. So I don't fucking know. This was a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. I agree with you on that. Just watch the big fucking tits part, because the way he said that kid was the best actor in this whole movie, and he was only on the screen for 3 minutes. The movie was an hour and a half.
Intentionally like great parts, but the rest was so fucking bad.
It was so terrible.
1989's Elves.
I think the lingerie part was funny.
First of all, that girl looked good. She came out in her white lingerie and all that, and her friend like talked shit to her immediately.
Not a real friend. Her friend was like, "You have to fuck these boys because it's easier to say yes than to confront the issue." I was like, what are they teaching in the 80s?
You know what? I can tell you right now, like the 80s, the 90s were a fucking... It was never a good time. I don't know. There was so much like encouraged bullshit between guys and girls. Just like old movies where they're like always spying on the girl in the shower and shit like that. Like, just not cool stuff to do.
Oh my God, I just put pieces of the movie together that were like things that I didn't pick up on the first time. This is a movie I'd have to watch twice to pick up on like the underlying meaning, because I feel like I usually do that. I just pictured something. So when they had the lingerie moment, and there was like the mean girl, the ditzy girl, and then Kirsten. The ditzy girl went up to Kirsten and was like, so you're really not gonna like fuck one of the guys when they come in? She's like, no, I don't want to do that. And the girl was like, oh well, I'm just gonna do it because it's easier to get it out of the way, and it's also easier not to say no. It's just easier to do it. And Kirsten was like, I'm saving myself for someone special. And then at the end of the movie, she was told that she was the Aryan race, by the way. Psychotic. Your pure bloodline.
Specimen.
You're
perfect.
You're the most beautiful specimen. I wouldn't hurt you. I love you to death. You're my prized possession. Blech, by the way, not an object. Second of all,
I banged your mother.
But at the end of the movie, she's pregnant. So it's so gross that the director did this. I just picked up on this. She's saving herself for somebody special, but then gets raped by an elf. So that's a really disgusting.
Because she just sat there. And she was all cool after too. She was like, "It's over," and then it showed her pregnant.
You think that just because she sat there that she wasn't raped?
No, I don't. It was hard to tell because she wasn't like freaking out the whole time. Like he was there.
Yes,
and then
she was.
It was not. I don't think she was fully like.
Do you know what happens when people go into shock? 100%
no, but
fear.
they gave her that rock thing that she knew what to do with it when the time came, and then suddenly it was over, which means she did what she knew what to do, and then she was pregnant. It was almost like she got it, and it was like, oh, I'm supposed to do this.
No, I didn't get that at all from that. That's even more disgusting.
I think that's why they set it up like that. And she was saving herself for someone special, which the elf was a very, like her and that elf was supposed to be like this huge thing. And that's why it was a whole thing with her grandfather. You know, it was like Hitler and all that shit was involved. And she was like predetermined to fucking have this elf's baby.
No, she wasn't.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if she got that rock and then that's when she knew what I'm supposed to do.
She knew her, no, because when they gave her the rock, they were told to destroy it with the rock. The purpose of the rock was to destroy the elf, not to have sex with it and recreate.
Procreate?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, recreate a fucking demon baby. Like, no.
This movie
I'm glad
sucked.
you think that's so funny.
You saying recreate is what I'm laughing about, but this...
I heard you.
What are you looking at? For those listening, she's on her computer typing away furiously. She is doing something seemingly important. Are you looking up the meaning to the ending? You are, aren't you? Oh, let's do this. let's do this for the folks. This could be the last part here. Let's see what it means. What does it mean?
Whoa, hang on. I'm going to share my screen because this looks weird as fuck. There's like a whole page for this. This is badmovies.org.
Same movie.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Can you guys see?
I can see.
Okay.
The folks listening can't. So,
okay, Kirsten, blonde girl who's the perfect virgin for an elf to breed with. Perfect, why, you ask? I don't know. She's got average looks and brains. An incel wrote this. Maybe it's just being a 17-year-old virgin. Vegan. Okay. Mike, Dan Haggerty.
So they're just telling you about the different people.
No, okay. The foremost complaints of this movie. There's one freaking elf. What the heck? Not only that, but they use a kid or dwarf wearing a suit. They go and make top and bottom halves. You'd think it was done that way so that the elf could have all sorts of neat facial expressions, but oh no, it can barely move. Amy Brooke have this weird ceremony in the woods and bring the elf back to life. Soon Santa's little killer is knocking off. But by the way, this didn't feel like a Christmas movie to me at all. The death of the Nazis. Grandfather's old friend was the elf. It's resurrected and wants to help it mate with. Grandfather's old friends know the elf was resurrected and want to help it mate with Kirsten. So the grandfather didn't want to mate. Nazis created the elf.
Resurrected. That's why he yelled at her and slapped the shit out of her.
Oh, okay. So Nazis created the elf, and a perfect virgin will give birth to Aryans after it lays her. Okay, so Grandpa. Okay, wait. So Grandpa wanted to completely like purge this idea. It was a bad idea. He's like so I guess he's an ex-Nazi. He's not like current with the other ones that were in the movie, and they want her to mate with the elf, but Grandpa doesn't.
Well,
Grandpa gave her the rock and was like, "You know what to do with this," but then the other Nazis wanted her to mate with it. Okay, this makes perfect sense. So we are both right, but in a different way. Ew, that's disgusting that we're both right because it's fucking gross. Oh, it tells you the stuff to watch for so that you guys don't have to watch the movie. Wait. I have to read these out loud because the way this person writes is ridiculous. 3 minutes in. Look, lady, first of all, girls can't be the master race. It would be the master gender, you rube. What?
Look at the next scene. I said the same thing. The next part.
Shower scene, pan down, lower, I say. Oh, yeah, he wants
it stops just above boobs because you're like, go, oh, damn it.
Yeah, ew. First of all, you're disgusting. You belong on this page. 11 minutes in, Willie is bleeding from a cut on his shoulder and everybody just wanders out. 16 minutes. Stabbed in the crotch to death. Oh, God. That was the guy who got his shit ripped off after he touched her. 19, Mike gets evicted from a camper. Also didn't understand that. How do you get evicted from your camper?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was like,
at a trailer park?
At a trailer park, yeah.
But it was the only trailer there. It was in like a lot.
Or it got repossessed.
I don't fucking know, dude.
Terminology.
He's like, how could this happen to me on Christmas?
Listen to this. Remember this guy? This is the detective's his quote down there. Guy tries to feel you up. You slap him. Words are exchanged. He's found dead a few minutes later with his nuts cut off. What should I think? Remember that delivery of that line he gave?
Here, you guys can see some of the... this was
look at the elf. So bad.
It's so bad.
They still don't talk about the ending, but anyways.
No, they did.
Either way, don't fucking watch this. Don't. Just don't bother.
They talked about the ending.
Bother. They don't say anything about her being pregnant, though, remember?
Yeah. Maybe people didn't make it to the ending because it was a really bad movie.
Yo. Oh, my God.
I wanted to stop watching at an hour. I was like, there's no fucking way. There's 40 minutes after this because it was at like 45 minutes and I was like, I don't want to watch the rest of this. It is so bad.
Story, and it wasn't working. It was just like, it was probably bad on paper and then it translated bad to film. And it was like,
why didn't anybody say anything?
They didn't even have to have the elf. They could have just had the whole plot being Nazis trying to resurrect the elf and capture this girl because she's supposed to like get impregnated by this elf. That could have been the whole movie. Instead, they had to bring out the elf, and they could have just like, they didn't have
So
to have
in
the elf. They could have
conclusion,
done, like a
Grandpa fucks his daughter that is now dad and grandpa, who literally, by the way, the little boy, in conclusion, this happens, okay? Shit, bad, terrible, awful. We're gonna have like a warning before this, and then
Don't
he tells
fuck your kids.
he tells Kirsten, who is the daughter, the youngest daughter, that she granddaughter. Anyways, tells her that she is the purest race and that he didn't want her to find out. He didn't want all this shit to happen, blah, blah. Then the Nazis come in and he's like, fuck you, Grandpa. We're going to make her fuck the elf. And then it doesn't happen because Grandpa's like, here's this rock. This will kill the thing. And then it impregnates her anyways, even though she killed it. So she sacrificed her body to save... She sacrificed her body to save the public because it's like she killed it.
Impregnated by the elf anyway.
Yeah, so she's a menace to society, I guess. You're fucking...
So
she tried to save...
her.
Well, she tried... She tried so hard to kill the thing, and then...
This wacky fucking shit. Fucking big tits, and I'm telling everybody.
It was bad, guys. Maybe don't watch this movie. I said watch it earlier, but we just told you the parts that were notable. Don't even bother now.
Oh, my God. You know what? Elves on YouTube. It's free to watch. Watch it or don't. I don't give a fuck. I would prefer you didn't watch it. Nobody really needs to see this movie.
I didn't even look at the views. How many views it had on YouTube? Hang on. There's no way.
While she's checking on this, you have just listened to another episode of the Bad Movie Podcast series from I'm fucking flumbling. This has been another bad movie entry in the Distracted and Disorderly universe. All right, go check out the previous bad movies. We got Witchin' and Bitchin', which was not fucking bad at all. First of all, we got Cynthia Rothrock doing Sworn to Justice. We did what is it? I Want You Dead or I Need You Dead. That was another one. We're gonna keep up this series. What'd you got? What'd you find out?
Over a span of 13 years, it has 115,000 views.
Oh.
And then, let's see. All of the comments are so... Mate with a virgin and conquer the world. This guy wrote goals after high school. There are so many bad things. This is nothing to... I like how they preface that, it's in a department store, so it sucks, guys. Don't watch it. We're going to have more, though.
It's a big, fat, juicy fart. Yeah, we're going to do...
Glad we got that one out of the way.
Our next bad movie episode will be coming in January, and we'll figure something out for that time. We'll figure something out. We're still running...
A New Year movie that sucks?
Maybe we may have some changes coming in the very, very next future.
Near future?
Very next future. We got some changes coming. We're having a lot of staff meetings behind the scenes here, and by staff I mean the two of us.
It'd be helpful if you guys commented, though. We really do care about your feedback.
But hopefully, you like the changes. We're gonna be putting some work in. Figuring out what we want to do with ourselves. We'll see what happens going forward. But we're definitely going to be keeping the bad movie series. We're working out some kinks, but I can let you know right now we're going to have a Reddit series. That's going to be its own thing. And we want to figure out how we want to do the format of that, whether we're going to have rotating guests or permanent guests or what we want to do. But we're still discussing the stuff behind the scenes. I don't want to tell you what our ideas are for the podcast going forward, but you're going to see more bullshit from us very soon in the future because we suck at social media and we're going to get more involved with that. Unless somebody wants to do it for free.
No, free labor is illegal.
What if I give you the eyes of the guy in the movie? Hey, if someone could just do the social.
The guy in the movie looked endearing. Christopher looks like he's sick.
I think
somebody punched you in the kidney.
No, I don't know how he did the eyebrows. He just looked like they were permanently like feel sorry for you. Like, I'm sorry, child. Like it was. You got anything else for us? You got anything else for the people listening and the people watching and the
Our eyeballs suffered to watch this movie. Seriously, guys, like, it's not worth
We did it for you.
any of it. It's not worth any of it. It's really not.
We did it for you. Don't forget, we're
Anyways.
still streaming Thursday nights. That's not going to change. We're still going to game stream Thursday nights. It's just our way of having fun. It's just the two of us.
No.
Gaming.
Speak for yourself, bud. It's not my way of having fun. That is my life.
Yeah, but gaming
Speak
is
for
life.
Speak for yourself, bitch.
Don't forget our boy Firefighter Gaming, still doing it during the week, still doing his thing, still growing on YouTube. He was a guest.
He's doing very well.
Ago. He's still going to be with us on Thursday nights. Yeah, we're still doing our thing, and like I said, we're working out some kinks. We got some new stuff in the future coming, and stick around. And for anybody new checking us out, thank you for checking us out. Any last words, Kayla?
Yeah. I have a few last words.
She's going to talk so much shit to you guys right now, I feel like. She has that look in her face.
I need people to comment on this video. Mean things, good things, but it has to be about the content, not our weight. Thank you.
That's me wheezing because I'm getting over some sickness. All right, folks. Thank you for listening. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. You're going to be hearing this on Friday, so it's probably Friday for you. Potty. Bye.
Party.